Welcome back, Divine Feminine. We're here to do your update. Yes, we do cover these weekly. And if you do want to get these updates ahead of the crowd, you can join our YouTube membership. Now, we are looking at your weekly energy, and we do have some close-up views, and I'm going to pull clarifiers. I'm really feeling with Divine Feminine at the moment, you're really challenging a few things, but it's funny because you've come through this week with your romance card, and it's connected to freedom. And I think spiritually, you could be in a bit of a conundrum at the moment. You could be getting to a stage where that self-love, that self-expression, the feeling of really being at a crossroad and wanting to choose something. The card is saying there is nothing stopping you. The path is clear. If you want it, it can be. And I feel there's this revelation for some of you that you're ready to make a decision. You're ready to make a choice. But I also feel for some of you, this can mean that your twin flame connection, the road is going to become clear. Spiritually, it's asking you to be very grounded in your approach of what you're wanting and stay very committed to whatever that is. And I do feel in the past, I'm noticing this past position here. We're really looking at, again, horse and cart metaphorically, with the horse coming through with the Divine Feminine on the card. The green really is the higher heart chakra. And we did have a lot to do with Chiron coming up, the wounded healer. And definitely the hero's journey. And I feel, in the heart space at the moment, you have expressiveness. So we can accidentally, when we're wounded, be very defiant. But I also feel you're wanting to be able to communicate. You're wanting to be able to be yourself and to articulate your direct feelings. This will be a really good week for journaling and to really get down on a piece of paper so you're expressing it. This can also be very creative as well. But I feel through the clearing of the heart chakra, we generally do have high heart chakra clearing prior to union. I do recall a point in my journey where I had a lot of heart chakra activation. I literally thought I was purging to the point I was squeezed. And I was a little bit resentful towards my heart. It's almost like we go between this energy of head and heart because we want to protect ourselves. And when our heart is speaking to us, we're very resentful because we're not getting our ice cream metaphorically. And I feel spiritually, you can be going through a transformation. I feel some of you are wanting to go through a detox on the emotions. It's almost like I feel with all the heavy Capricorn energy we were having in the initial stage, we were eating very heavy or emotional eating, and there was this awareness of it. And I feel it's almost like you are potentially this week going to come into more lightness. But I do feel due to the transits, there's a potential in the first week we can feel a little bit indulgent. So be careful, because I'm picking up this nausea really coming through with Divine Feminine this week. I do feel intuitively your emotions are going to fluctuate. I feel that you're also going through a shedding. You're going through a change. I'm noticing the snake and the fire. Again, the serpent rising, especially from a foundation. Wait till I show you the foundation. It's looking pretty fantastic. I do feel you guys are going to start feeling better this week, and there could be this optimism that returns. But I also feel you want to feel safe. You want to feel safe to be, how would I express it? A little bit of Black Moon Lilith and a little bit of Venus. So we've got two sides to us. We have the more darker side, and sometimes it's the courage to be disliked. It's the courage to be loved for who we are. I feel there's a sense of belonging as well. You want to feel accepted. You want to feel loved, but it's also this inner love that you're trying to find with yourself. I am feeling there is going to be great enjoyment with friendship groups and with social connections, but I also feel this kind of coming out, and this coming out is going back to the drawing board, and it's like, okay, well, the year's metaphorically started now. Let's get moving. Let's get life moving. Some of you could be joining gyms. Some of you also could feel that somebody is watching you, and that somebody is feeding information back, and there could be news coming through the grapevine. That can be through your social crowd. It could be through social media. It might be through direct communication with the person that knows twin. But there is a protectiveness, and I do feel people around you as being very protective of you. There also could be tribe members that are projecting towards you their beliefs of what they think is best for you. And that could make you a little bit heated, but it also does show that A, they do love you, but B, We will always choose what is correct for ourselves. And I feel you're coming through trumps. I feel you're coming through quite strong. This can be a very defiant and opinionated week for Divine Feminine. I mean, that doesn't have to be a negative thing. I'm actually not seeing it in this instance as a bad thing. I feel Divine Feminine is doing a 180, and she's really coming to a space where maybe she went through a bit of upheaval, and that really could have been from August last year to now. And now it's like you want to take a more grounded approach and trust your instincts. And, usually when we're away from the ego, our intuition within the twin flame path and within our life is very, very harmonious. But it's been a bit. It's been a moment where that hasn't been there. And I feel you're wanting to come to that peaceful space. You're not wanting to be angry anymore. You're not wanting to be, you know, out of balance, out of sync, so to speak. And you're wanting to have a more pleasant year. And this really does promise to be a very, very different year in 2023 than the last 4 years. But nevertheless, like any year, we will have bold changes, and some things that we may see might not be as grand as we would like, but that's more so in the collective. But in our own personal lives, it's really restructuring a brand new vibration of Divine Feminine. I'm hearing the term that, this transformation, it's almost like finding the confidence back in yourself. And I'm noticing the butterfly and the lotus flower. There's always, beauty in the cracks. And I had a beautiful friend the other day that wrote on social media and said, I really wish I had tattoos. If I was to have a tattoo per pain body experience, I would be covered in tattoos. And I said, well, we metaphorically are really. But they are the things that, happen to us, but they're the things that don't define us. They really do shape us. And I see through this lotus flower and the butterfly that there's almost a revelation that these changes you've been through are not going to be for nothing. Okay. It's not to say that they're nice, but we learn, such grand things. But this new version of who you are today is going to benefit you in the long run. You're going to be quite grateful for it. I'm noticing from a foundation, you're very psychically inclined this month, and I especially feel that's going to peak by mid-month, so stay tuned for those updates. But keep in mind, moving into March, your psychic energy can be quite large. It'd be a really great time to join the members if you have not, because there will be added support for the members as we go through that transition as twin flames and collectives. I'll touch base with all of you in Discord. Now, I do see through this, it is very psychic this week, and I feel intuitively you'll know somebody's coming in. You could be picking up on the karmic energy. There's a lot of shifts coming through. I also feel you're instinctually going to know what to say, when to say it, and how to act. That's what my guides are showing me. So it does feel you're going to be privy to a clue of how to ascend. And when I say ascend, we're always ascending. But I do feel how you can get success out of this situation with your twin flame path. There is also a message I'm getting where subconsciously if you wanted to manipulate this situation, you physically could. But I feel subconsciously a lot of you are like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I want to do this correctly. What's mine will always be mine. And you're really jumping into the abyss and trying to very much focus on your inner bliss. Like I said, I do feel a lot of goals coming through this week. I do feel there is a lot of confidence that's being resurrected. And I also feel the self-assured energy that's going to come over you like a wave is going to take you to your bliss. But I do feel some of you could be in this a bit of a conundrum initially at the start of the week and feeling a little bit unhinged, having some issues maybe with family, but it is coming through with love. So if you can step back and you can view it, you may be able to see their perspective on this. But there's a brand new chapter here. And I feel this chapter is directly linked to your counterpart. So some of you are psychically picking up on this prior to it occurring. And sometimes we can get ever so frustrated because we can see it coming through in the ethers. And this can be for some time. And, we just don't understand why we're seeing it. It also can come through in the readings. And then we were saying, well, hang on a minute, this is coming through in my readings. It's coming through in my subconscious. I'm getting the signs and synchronicities. Why has it not showed up yet? It's usually signaling to move into your confidence and to know It's already on its way, and there's nothing you need to do as long as that is where you currently stand. I do see, however, for a pocket group of you, if there are some avoidance situations, especially from the top row, you may need to tackle those things first, and then we can find that the flow-on effect comes with the romance directly moving. I'm going to move into clarifiers. I feel there's a temptation energy here. For some of you, there can be another person who is quite keen on you, and there's a question mark between, do I move towards this energy, or do I stay open to my counterpart? Yeah, a lot of things you're holding close to your chest. You're trying to keep them private. Some of the things, it's almost like shadows that we're trying to face, insecurities that from time to time can crop up. I feel you're really holding them close to your chest. I also feel spiritually, sometimes we can feel, and I use the metaphor of Florence and the Machine, and it's like dragging that horse around. It's like the one that got away. I'm really carrying it. It's a heavy cross to bear. I do feel some of you are coming through the clearing of that, but I'm also seeing that maybe one needs to be less strict on themselves. And what do I mean by that? The past is the past. Yes, the only thing we have in front of us is a brand new beginning, and where we stand right now. I mean, we can't turn time back, but we can actually say, okay, I retrieved something from that. And that's when that shadow work, or even reflecting upon the past, is healthy, is because we're trying to retrieve something from it so it can aid our future. I do feel counterpart is working on their stability. I feel they're coming through tried and true. And what do I mean by that? It's almost like maybe for some of you in your meditation, some of you in your dream state, you're actually picking up on counterpart being very mature, very ascended. I'm also getting, you want to know you can depend on this person, and I feel it's almost like any insecurities you were having, they've actually moved through in a channeled message to your counterpart, and they're directly dealing with them in 3D. So potentially, if you were looking at them, depending on their given situation, it's going to be very individual for each person. It appears to be through the cards here, the clarifier. The safe card with the bear on it, it's almost like the clarifier with the divine masculine with their inner work and maybe a 3D job. They're actually trying to get their ducks in a row so that they can be that stable individual. There could be some restructuring they're actually doing, but I do feel while you're potentially doing your thing, some of these insecurities are coming up in shadow work. Okay, who is this? There's a group of people around that maybe, like I said, the belonging energy. Let's pull a clarify on this. What is this in relationship to, please? Apart from the previous messages that came through. I do feel there's something to do with their family. They're quite connected to you. Even for those of you that maybe weren't so close to them at a point in time, something has changed with that. I also feel some people are taking as gospel that the demeanor that your counterpart had is going to be the same forever, yet I feel your tribe isn't seeing how you've changed, and so therefore it is possible for everyone to change. They're taking it, I think they're open to it, but unless they see it, they're not, yeah, they're not coming through this week as supportive. I do feel some of them are very, very aware of this connection. It's really funny. It's almost like I feel it's swapped. It's almost like I'm picking Divine Masculine's tribe as being more supportive on this occasion. Strange. Okay, there is trust that's going to be rebuilt back in it, and it could be that For some of you that you're wanting things to take time, but I actually think it's on divine masculine side. I think divine feminine wants a movement. They want a 180, today. Whereas divine masculine's coming through deeply traditional this week. Okay. My guides are showing me that divine masculine is going through a third eye activation, and I feel as though they're actually connecting in with you. Some of you could be picking up on some of their messages. There is a surprise here though, but I don't think it's bad. I'm just really getting very strongly that divine masculine is almost like they're thinking about situations. And so you directly could purge or have triggers in various areas that you think you've directly unpacked, but I think it's coming through from them. Just be careful to protect your crown chakra and your third eye this week because I feel there could be some psychic attacks that comes through. You might be embodying karmic energy. And what do I mean by that? Those of you that have followed me for a very long time, I give you tips obviously relating to your path, being that I'm a twin. At times, sometimes when we're very perplexed, if there is a karmic, for instance, and we're tuning into them, if your aura is very low, what can happen is you can start accidentally embodying a karmic energy. So if you do find that your attitude or your demeanor is very different and you feel very depressed or down, it's a real good time to detox, good time to increase fluid, to journal and to, if you are tuning into those individuals, be it's through a reading or thinking on a bit of a conundrum point that you had in your journey, after you've finished thinking about it, go and have a shower, use the smudge stick and go and do something that is completely away from that subject matter for about 20 minutes, and it can actually block the psychic attacks. And that would be one tip I would give to you this week. Look, don't be surprised if things move very quickly. Don't be surprised if you're more vocal this week. I definitely see you maybe having some dramas in family, but it is coming from a place of love. I think those of you that are more ascended are going to be able to handle it. But I also feel you could have a revelation surrounding tribe and family. And I do directly feel their tribe is very much watching you. Take care, beautifuls, and I'll see you next week. If you do want this content ahead of the crowd, you can join our YouTube members. Yes, each level does hold different things, and the higher up the level you go, you get it all. Go through and take a look at the video that is linked to what our membership incorporates. And separately, we have the live every Friday. Love and light. I'll see you next week.